the what?
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the What Variety Show. I am your host, Eric, and as always, I am joined by my, dare I say, phenomenal co-host, Kyle and Ashby.
What's going on, guys? Whoop.
I don't know if you dare, but you did.
Yeah,
I did dare.
you did.
I did dare.
And I will take the phenomenal,
Yeah.
compliment.
And we have Ashby back in studio.
I lived.
She is here.
Mhm. She's the child that lived.
And that was just an excuse for me to use the sound effects. So.
Mhm.
We have a massive show lined up for you today for episode 6. We're diving into the absolute masterpiece. Oh my goodness.
Deep dive.
That's
we
a
still
first in a
doing
long
that?
time.
That is X-Men 97. We're going to be breaking down our expectations for the upcoming season of Ted Lasso. And
Ted Sasso?
Oh gosh, Ted Lasso.
I was about to say,
Wow.
I didn't know if you
Where
were.
did that come
There's a
from?
whole
I don't know.
nother.
There's Will
thing to
Sasso
know about.
the
Yeah.
actor, yeah, but oh gosh. And
If I didn't call you out, somebody online would. So I figured I'd go ahead and.
let's go ahead and do it now. And well, the problem is
Look.
here on the script, I have Lasso here, and under I had the word segment, and I think I just
Okay.
transposed the
That's
element
fair.
S. So.
Look, the heat is making me not the
Yeah.
top of my game, so I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I hope Whitney Houston is happy with this. I know R.I.P., but she wanted to feel the heat with somebody, and if she was
We
with
are
us,
feeling the
we are
heat.
definitely feeling the heat with somebody.
Whew.
I more so feel like this is the Rob Thomas Santana. He's like, it's a hot one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a hot.
Mm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to be reviving what I think is an elite segment for Block 3. But first, we're going to talk about Mutant Hierarchy, a project that quite literally grabbed our childhood by the throats, the X-Men original animated series, which I erroneously said last time that it came out in 89. The pilot came out in 89, but the series did not start until 1992. But Disney has taken this wonderful childhood project that we loved, gave it a massive budget, and they have completely altered the superhero landscape. We're talking about X-Men 97. Now, going into this, I think we were all maybe a little nervous. I mean, Marvel has not necessarily... I don't know. I've just felt nervous about Marvel since Endgame. Like, I don't feel like it's been their best foot forward in a lot of aspects. We all grew up on the original 92 animated series. That theme song, practically hardwired
Chef's
into our
kiss.
DNA. Masterclass, and we don't even have to look at it in the rearview mirror now because season 2 is currently airing on Disney Plus every single Wednesday. They're right in the thick of it. They're throwing us right back to the fire. So with new episodes dropping as we speak, I want to step back and look at the show as a whole. And I want to throw a massive question to you guys on the table. And I know, Ashby, you haven't really seen it all the way through, but I'm ready to say it. X-Men 97, is it the greatest piece of Marvel media ever put on a screen?
That's a big statement.
That's a bold statement.
I won season 1 of X-Men 97 was just, as Ashby has introduced us to, Chef's Kiss. Just beautiful. It's gorgeously animated. Voice acting is on par with what we remember. It's a love letter to our childhood while keeping it fresh in our minds. The stories are amazing, heartbreaking, tear-inducing, and how they manage the first season was 10 episodes. How they managed a 10-episode season with such a large number of heroes to go around. And not only did they manage it, I felt like so many heroes got time to thrive, and we were able to appreciate a lot of heroes that maybe we just were not as familiar with, or and then season 2 comes out. As of this recording, we've seen 5 episodes. When this comes out, I think they'll be through episode 7. But through the first 5 episodes, it has been just... I mean, I cannot say enough good things about it. And so when I was, coming up with our script for this week, it just hit me like, I think it might be the best thing Marvel's ever done on screen.
Now, when you say screen, are you including movies?
Television, anything you watch on the screen. Yeah.
I would say it's maybe the best X-Men themed thing that Marvel has done
Well,
on a screen.
that's easy though. That's an easy statement. I'm going with the hot take.
I know. I'm just saying.
What
like,
would you say is
I don't
better
know.
than this?
I mean, when you get to like Endgame and stuff like that, it's just it's great, and so I just don't know. Again, I'm not knocking this show. I love this show. I think it is right up there, but it's a very bold statement to say it's the absolute best thing that Marvel has done.
Maybe I'm just living in the moment now.
Animated thing they've ever done?
I mean, yeah, I think it's definitely the best animated thing they've ever done.
And I would say it's better than the X-Men movies that we got.
Absolutely.
Better than What If?
Move your mic up, by the way. Your mic's a little low. There we go. Yeah, it's definitely the best animated thing we've seen. It's best X-Men property we've ever seen. I have no qualms about that. If it's not the best thing ever put on screen, it's in the top 5 easy.
I will give you that it's got to be up there.
Yeah, I'll say that.
For sure.
Maybe even top 3. I understand the Infinity War Endgame argument. And again, maybe I'm just living in the now and in the recent, and I'm all about my feels about how great the show is.
I feel like it's hard to beat some of those moments where you were watching something in theaters. I mean, like Black Panther was so visionary.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's gonna be difficult for me to.
Well, I think about any of those scenes that are just classic now that we saw in a movie, like just multiple different ones where all of a sudden the entire theater erupts, stands up, yelling, cheering, that you can still watch now and get emotional about. There's yet to be something on the like X-Men series. There's been big things, don't get me wrong, and emotional things, but I just don't know that it's something as big and as bold as that where everybody in the room stood up like yelling, cheering type thing.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like every week I stand up and I'm like, oh my goodness, bravo. Like,
apparently you are crying,
it is really,
laughing.
really good. And I will say this with a caveat. We are halfway through the season, and it's harder to, I guess, account for a television series versus a movie because you're watching this in your home versus in theaters, ideally. And we don't know what the rest of the season is going to look like. They could completely fumble it, or they come up with season 3 in 2 years, and it turns out to be awful. So maybe I'm putting the cart before the horse a little bit. But I will just say the storytelling is just incredible so far. It is, I mean, so Ashby, I know you haven't seen season 2. Kyle, what are your thoughts on just season 2? Let's talk about that.
I don't care about spoilers because I'm going to watch it either way. So
I'm only a couple episodes in. I've watched maybe 2 or 3, and before we jump too much into that, I would just say one big part about this, season 1 included, but just this whole revamp when they've made 97, is they didn't come into it and change everything where it doesn't really line up with the one we grew up watching from 92.
Right. Even like the tone, the animation style.
It is. So you can tell maybe that, like, sure, animation has clearer now. Yeah. So things look better a little bit visually, but not where it didn't look good when we were younger. It was just, it's advanced along with technology to look clear and clean. But again, they didn't go overboard with that to make it something it wasn't, where all of a sudden we'll see that a lot, where all of a sudden we're bringing back something from your childhood, but here's this whole new modern spin on it. They didn't do that. It's the same way with like comic books, where if you look at comic books from back then to now, how just styles and artwork changed slightly or just a little bit more clear because of printing processes and things now. And I will say too, as well, the biggest thing about it, especially for us growing up, but I don't know if the entire series is, because right now I don't know where everything falls with comic books compared to what's on season 2 and where we're at. But at least growing up, a lot of what was on the original series was literally straight out of a comic book. They may change some characters here, change some things, and cut it down to fit into episodes. But at the same time, a lot of the knowledge, at least that I got growing up, was based on what was on that show. And it also lines up with a lot of what comic books were. Again, there were things that were changed, but not mostly. And it didn't come up with just a series and say, here's these characters, let's just make a movie or a TV show and do whatever we want with them. So they did stick to some of that. So that's where I think now coming into this, especially us now that we've watched all these movies and watched all these other things, that sometimes they're a little bit based into a book, but a lot of times they just will throw a name out there, but then do whatever they want to as far as the story.
Right.
And so I would say now it's continuing to grow. And I can't remember what you even said. You saw a quote or something the other day about how in the first 2 episodes.
Oh yeah, they've. I mean, I'll pull it up real quick just to make sure I get it right. But I think it was very very accurate. But it was something about King the Conqueror. It's crazy how X-Men 97 did more justice to Apocalypse, King the Conqueror, and the Celestial in no fewer than 2 episodes than the MCU or the Fox X-Men movies ever did.
And it's true.
And it is so, so true.
Yeah, I think to y'all's point, one of the things that I like about it, and I think the same is true to a certain extent for What If, when you're dealing with animation instead of live action, there's no focus on billing or screen time.
Right.
And so you don't have to consider actors' egos. And I'm not saying that's always being taken into account, but I am saying that if you have, a movie that focuses on a cast of characters, but RDJ's in the movie, RDJ's getting screen time.
Yes.
Well, the same way you were spending that much money on certain actors, you're going to get your money's
Correct.
worth out of making sure they're on the screen.
Correct.
Right.
Of course. And so with animation, you can actually service the storyline because you're not having to be concerned with who is on screen and which character is going to be the main plot point and which characters are going to be, plot point like D, E, and F. And I think that leads itself to a lot more flexibility in storytelling.
Yes.
That you don't have in live action.
And I will say, in this, it might just go back to my rant, my useless aggression rant from last month. Like I said, animation's not a dead format. It's not a lesser format.
Right.
There are things you can do in animation that you cannot do in live action, or you can, but it will take, like you said, lots of money, stunt casting, special effects. I mean, now they're going to throw everything into a CGI filter, or whatever, or an AI filter.
Right.
But with animation, I mean, you can do all these things, and you can make it look gorgeous, and all you have to do is just the voice acting, and where like you said, it's not the egos or whatever. So I don't know. I'm just completely enthralled. Like, this is growing up, the 3 series that made me fall in love with superhero or comic books in general was Batman the Animated Series, Spider-Man the Animated Series from 94, and the X-Men animated series in 92. And this series is just recapturing my love for the X-Men, where it had kind of fallen off in recent years, especially after X-Men Apocalypse, especially after X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Right. Well, we've just been given so many live action versions of them, and they're not always cohesive.
Yeah. And even like the the original series, like the first X-Men movie, it was good.
Especially considering what was available before that. Like, you didn't have this.
I mean, it was kind of the originator of the modern superhero movie for Marvel. I mean, I know we had the Batman movies in the 90s, but X-Men was the first ensemble type of movie.
Right.
And but even then, they, I guess that just the style at the time, it was 2000 when the movie came out. We can't put Wolverine in yellow spandex. We got to put everyone in black leather because that's the edgy look. Because we want moviegoers to be able to appreciate this, and or we want to get the casual movie person to not be like, why are they dressed in such ridiculous colors? Is this the Power Rangers? No shade to the Power Rangers. I mean, we love the Power Rangers. And but even the movies, just while they were good, and there were some really good movies in there. X2 was fantastic. Days of Future Past was a really good movie.
Especially when you didn't have a lot to compare to. You didn't have all the other Marvel stuff that was happening per se yet to us to see.
Right.
Iron Man in an Iron Man suit, Captain America, and all of a sudden they're finally, these movies happened where they were scared or nervous to make and throw them into these costumes, and versus now you didn't have that. And I'm not discrediting those movies.
No,
either,
I'm not. No, the movies were good for the time and what they were, but they lacked a certain
superhero
soul or joy that I'm finding or rediscovering in this series now.
Absolutely.
5 episodes in. I mean, not. You said you were not worried about spoilers. I'm not going to spoil everything, but we've gotten. Let's see. First episode, we got half of the X-Men team in the future.
I was going to comment on that, just like the way that you had mentioned about different levels of story arc covering different people. They're doing it already.
So at the end of season 1, the X-Men are sent throughout time to battle Apocalypse, or to,
Interesting.
and so you have half the team sent to ancient Egypt in like 3000 BC or whatever.
Okay.
You have the other half sent in the future, like 3,000 years in the future, or year 3000 or whatever. And then you have some people who were left behind in 1997.
Okay.
Jubilee and Sunspot, who team up with Cable. They form X-Force
Okay.
with a custom credits, like beginning credits.
I will say,
nice.
The credits are
Amazing.
so good.
First off, that's one of the main things that I always loved as a kid, was the intro. Not beyond the song, but the fact of how you would get the pop-up of Wolverine, and then like
and here's
everybody,
Cyclops, and
he would get their own little credit. I honestly, I was watching this when X-Force came across. I was working, and so I was like doing a little bit of both, watching but and working, and I didn't notice it at first because the song was the same.
Yeah.
So I wasn't paying attention. I was like, wait a second, they redid the entire intro now just for X-Force.
Yes.
And so, no, I'm not going to say that again. Sorry, Eric's watch is trying to tell me what to do, but no, that was just amazing. I didn't mean to cut you off on that. It caught me off guard. I had to rewind it to see it.
Like, it's just the little things, the details.
Yeah.
So you have the story with Cyclops and Jean in the future, with a few other X-Men in the future, helping young Nathan Summers, who's not yet to become Cable, help him lead people in the future to battle Apocalypse. You've got Magneto and Xavier and a few others in the past, where they meet Ramatut, who is King the Conqueror, taking over, and you have Insaba Nur, who is not yet Apocalypse, who's being exiled. And
wait, is this the plot of the Mummy movie?
It could be. It could be. And then you've got Jubilee and Sunspot with Cable and Psylocke, battling against a government-run mutant program called X Factor, led by Havoc and Polaris, and it's just, oh my! I
just love that they went straight into all this, and I get it.
So good. And so they have 3 separate stories. You have a heartbreaking story in the end of episode 4, and then episode 5, you've got everyone back in time. There's a post-credit scene at the end of episode 4 where Wolverine meets up with Captain America and Black Widow
what? Yep,
to meet up to get intel on Weapon X, because Wolverine no longer has his adamantium and his body's falling apart, and the adamantium was literally keeping his body together.
Interesting.
So he forms a team of his old Weapon X buddies, or Weapon X projects: Sabretooth, Lady Deathstroke, and a few others. Morph goes with them too. The relationship between Morph and Wolverine is sweet. You would love.
To be fair, it's
so good. It's so good.
That was one of my favorite parts, the fact that Morph is back, because I don't know if you guys remember, but I don't remember if this was like before the series came out on TV or came out right along the same time that it did to promote it. But Pizza Hut back in the day used to do VHSs, and I don't remember if you bought a certain meal and they'd give you the VHS, you reached for your water bottle. I literally thought you were reaching over like, VHS, got it right here.
Got it right here.
Yeah. I'm not that prepared. One day maybe, but I'm not that prepared.
But I have that VHS, but I remember as a kid, and I think it may be in the first episode, but it's like where Morph is there, and it's the first, as a kid, I'd never met Morph. Like, I didn't know anything about him. This was, you had some other characters you kind of knew about. Because even in like Spider-Man, His Amazing Friends, he teamed up with X-Men a couple times.
Right.
But the VHS is literally the first episode, and I've watched it a billion times as a kid because it's literally all this. You see Morph, you come to love Morph in the one episode that you get, but then he also is like, as far as we know, killed off. We do see him later in the series, like under Sinister's control and stuff, and you hate it. But it was big enough that they even sold a Morph action figure.
Yes.
And I had that.
I had the Morph action figure too. It came with a Wolverine head and a Cyclops head that you could switch out.
And then I want to say there was a Morph like healthy head and a Morph not healthy head.
Yes.
And so, but that was cool as an action figure.
Oh my gosh.
And it's cool, like all that to say, like that was my big intro into that, into loving Morph. And so I was really glad to see him come back and how they were doing that. Also, sidebar with that VHS, if you have it, or I'm sure you can watch it on YouTube now, I didn't notice it enough as a kid because I didn't know anything about comics as a kid.
Right.
There's a whole big intro before they play the movie. That's literally Stan Lee, and I can't remember who else it is, but they're in like at a conference like table sitting together with the like X-Men soundtrack in the background, and they're just talking about these characters. And Stan Lee's telling you about creating these characters for these movies and how the X-Men came to be a thing, and like, so there's this whole cool vibe about this and story that gets you before they even start the series. But all that to say to you, I'm just glad Morph is back. I'm glad to see that relationship back with them.
And one thing, Morph, he uses his morphing power to morph into some of our favorite heroes. He's Thor at one point. He's Hulk. He's the Thing from the Fantastic Four. He's Deadpool in an episode.
See, again,
episode. I mean, just
something you can do in animation.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
That you could never do in live action, because then you need all of those top bill actors to show up for 3 seconds or 5 minutes or however long he's morphed into them.
It's basically the Loki
never
or the
gonna
Captain
happen.
America cameo in Loki.
Correct.
Or Thor the Dark
Correct.
World.
You have imagine how much logistics and planning and money went into getting Chris Evans to show up to set for, that 3-minute scene. You just can't do it.
No.
Yeah, so
well, I love what they're doing too. And again, I'm not here just talking about Morph the whole time, but like in that
sounds like you are.
Well, that whole series in the original, you didn't even get to see that much of his power. You saw him change, but he was literally watching television and on a sofa. And every time a character popped up, he would change himself into that person. And I think he did acted like Gambit once or something, but it was not him using it as a superpower.
Yeah. No, he's using this He's Spider-Man in the last episode for a couple of minutes. I mean, like I said, it's not just X-Men. He's morphing into all Marvel heroes. And it's just so good to see them alongside, it hints to a larger world out there, but it's X-Men centric. Right. When Wolverine meets with Captain America and Black Widow, Black Widow actually sneaks up on Wolverine, which it's a very small, but it shows that she's a great spy, and it's where Wolverine couldn't even sniff her out.
Right.
And it's so good. I'm willing to say, as of right now, and things could change, and I again might just be living in more. I think it's the greatest thing Marvel's ever done. It's definitely in the top 3. There's no questions. Best X-Men thing, yes. Best animated thing, yes. Best television property, yes. Okay. And I would only put up the massive undertaking that Infinity War Endgame and the Black Panther visual stunning as the only things that might even compare to overall how great this is. And if you have not watched it, Ashby, I do encourage you to jump back on board when you get a moment, because I think you will fall in love with it. And you'll also send me a text and be like, "Curse you, Eric! I cannot believe I'm crying over this."
I've been very distracted lately by a bunch of things that I keep moving around. It's like I sit down to watch TV and I'm overwhelmed, and I just keep coming back around to oh, someone told me to watch that. And so I've been watching Paradise. I think I talked about that the last episode. So I just need to I need to lock in.
Gotta lock in.
And get back to X-Men 97. So.
Gotta lock in.
So I will say my favorite thing with this part is when you were talking about they're in this season or this time period, and they're in this time period, and Apocalypse is trying to figure out what time period he knows to decimate them and get things figured out. He's like, in order to do this, I need to go back to when they were at their most powerful.
The 1990s.
The 1990s.
And I mean,
the fact
that's when we were all our most powerful.
That's when we were all our most powerful. Yeah. I think what I also appreciate about 97, and I'm almost positive that when I sat down to watch the first episode of the first season 2 years ago, I texted you guys this, but X-Men 97 was my introduction to Gambit. And the fact that in a children's cartoon, not that it's just for children, but I was a child watching it, and I think that was their target market. They let that man be such a himbo. He's 100% just, there's a lot that as you get older, I think that you pick up from Gambit. First of all, you're like, what is that accent? And I love Channing Tatum for committing to the bit, because when Taylor Kish played him, all props to Taylor Kish. He was really great. I think. I mean, first of all, he was hot, so let's make him hot. Okay,
it's a core feature of Gambit.
It's a core feature of Gambit. He has to be hot, and Taylor Kish was at his prime. I love that, and he did a really good job, I think, with Gambit's powers. but he certainly did not commit to the accent, and I think it would have been really weird
I don't think he could have done it.
in that series of movies with their tone.
Mm-hmm.
But God bless, Channing Tatum. He did it. But what I love about the animated series is like every time you get to see them domestically, just like living together, this man is in a tank top and booty shorts.
Mm-hmm.
He's like doing the dishes, making beignets, just like being an absolute menace to everyone else in the house. He flirts with anything that like moves or stands still long enough for him to flirt with.
A lot of energy there.
A lot of chaotic chaotic happening there.
Chaotic's not the word I was going to use, but this is still a family show. So.
I really, really love that they have continued to commit to like who I think Gambit is as a character, like as a core character, that you can't necessarily show those layers in live action. Like how often he flirts with Wolverine, just to get on his nerves, and it works every time, and it's beautiful. And it's not like it doesn't have to mean anything. I don't need them to like have some kind of like romantic. And in fact, what I like about Gambit is for like all of the energy he's putting out, you rarely really see him be romantically linked with anyone. Which I think is really interesting. And I just love that you get all of that from an animated series. It's just really great.
X-Men 97 is awesome.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next part of our first block. Ted Lasso season 4 is coming out on August 5th. Ted is back in Richmond to coach the 2nd Division AFC Richmond women's team. We have talked briefly about this. Before we jump into a discussion, I'm going to give a quick plug. Myself and our friend Gavin, we're doing a Ted Lasso rewatch here on the What the What Media channel. It will be dropping. We will be dropping at least the first season of those episodes sometime in August to kind of coincide with the release of season 4, and then we'll continue season 2 and 3 and so on, further on down the road. But just go check that out. Help us out if you're interested into a deep dive into Ted Lasso. But our discussion here, very simply, we've gone over Ted Lasso season 4. We love Ted Lasso. We all have. We just so much respect for what that show has done. What are your hopes and dreams for season 4?
Speaking of himbos, I'm just excited to see the continual Jamie Tart evolution. I loved everything about Ted Lasso. I loved all the characters. I don't even think, to be honest, if I had to like pick, Jamie Tart would be my favorite. But when you look at who evolved most in the first 3 seasons, to think about like what they might do with that character in the next iteration.
Is he in the series?
So he is.
I thought he was gonna come back for like 1 or 2 episodes.
So there's no confirmation on that.
Okay.
His wife
I saw somewhere.
was there. I think his wife directed an episode, and he might have been there for that.
Okay.
I don't know that he is necessarily slated to appear.
I thought people were like, "Oh, he's on set." Well, I didn't know his wife directed, but people were like, "Okay, they're being really hush hush about it."
Now,
but like
that might be the case. He might make a cameo, or he might make an appearance.
Right,
we don't
right.
know.
I feel like it would make sense at least to show where he is. He's one of your key people, even if they don't even do a ton of it. Like he at least should appear at some point.
I figure he would be coming in somehow.
Yeah, I know
like,
Phil Dunster had committed to a bunch of other projects.
Well, that's true.
He
is doing a lot right now.
I mean, he's very sought after. So I just don't know if scheduling lined up, but he might make an appearance.
Well, no, I'm sad.
Yeah,
just kidding.
So your dreams have been crushed.
So adjacent to that, Roy and Keeley. They clearly, from the trailer, have scenes together.
Yes, they are in.
That's going to be.
They were in a vehicle together where he smashes the sunroof
with her high heel, which is cool. I know. So we actually were talking about this before we started recording. I was very upset because I had been led to believe that season 3 would have a very interesting ending with Roy and Keeley and Jamie. And what I love about Keeley is that she continuously chooses herself. And I think that's a really important message for young women, especially young women who want careers to have. And so I couldn't be upset that at the very end, she kind of decides, Roy and Jamie kind of give her this very like pick me energy, and she decides to pick herself. No one ends up with anyone. I was mad, but I like it actually. So I'm honestly, when I really think about it, like, do I want Roy and Keely to get back together or to have some kind of like, will they, won't they in the next season? Honestly, I think it would be way more interesting if they were striving to be friends. Like if that's their storyline in season 4 is like trying to find their footing in a friendship after having been romantically involved. I think that would be really interesting.
Yeah. Kyle, what about you?
Beyond anything I'm hoping for is I'm just excited for it to come back because truthfully I feel like it became just a comfort show for me.
Yes.
Like much like how The Office was for me for a long time, still is sometimes, but it's just a show you can put on. It may have big heavy moments, but it also just has these other glimpses that just kind of make you cheerful and happy as well. And so I haven't had that since this show. Like since I finished this, there hasn't been another show that I've watched to be like, because of course I want to know the details and I want to get into it and figure things out. But say like X-Men, like we were just talking about, it's one of those ones that I've wanted to make sure I haven't done a big back to back to back to back because I wanted to take a little bit, think about it, take a little bit, make sure I'm not missing something with it. Versus this, and again, because I came behind on watching Ted Lasso, I was able to just watch back to back on stream and stuff, and it would just become a thing I'd watch on weeknights and just back to back episodes. And so I'm just excited to have something like that back. Same way I did watch Rooster, I enjoyed Rooster, but it was different, and I just haven't had another show that just made me just excited just to sit down, turn my brain off, and just appreciate and watch something, not overthink it, really just relax and watch something, and also be entertained enough that I'm not trying to pick up my phone halfway through because just out of habit and boredom. Like I'm focused enough that I really just want to see what's happening and just enjoy it. As far as things I'm hoping for, I would really like to see what happens with his family, because when that ended, from what I'm recollecting, is I haven't watched the finale in a long time, but it kind of left us in a part of really not knowing, at least concrete, what's happening with him and his wife, ex-wife, and son. We do know he's moving back, but we don't know what exactly that looks like.
Well, and she was seeing someone.
She was,
but it was a little ambiguous of that relationship was going to last because it was their marriage counselor.
Yeah,
right. Ethic violation in my opinion.
Yeah,
but he was kind of obnoxious during their last game. Like he was like just kind of acting like a proper jerk is the word.
Sort
of
led us to believe that when they got home, she was going to end that relationship.
That's how I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what made me just wonder. Like I don't know what that looks like, and I'm not saying they have to get out of here. I just want to know kind of where that is. And
I will say like. in season 3 of that show, in a season where you had some of the absolute worst people, he might have been one of the worst people. Between him and Shandy and Jack and anyway, please continue.
But yeah, I want to see that. And then honestly, just kind of if we can get at least a little sprinkle of where some of the other players are and people that necessarily aren't many people. I don't need to know full blown stories of what's happening. It'd just be neat to get little like bits and pieces here of what the rest of that other team of like the men's team was, where they're at now, what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn too because I want to get to know the female players.
For sure.
I think that's going to be really interesting to see this new dynamic. But yeah, it's like I want to know where Isaac is, and I want to know, I know that he also I don't think is going to be in it, but I want to know where like Danny Rojas is. And
Danny Rojas is playing
he's
soccer.
Actually playing real football.
Real football, yes.
So I don't know how much he's going to be in it. But yeah, I don't think we need to, I think the focus is going to be on him building a team with these female characters and what their storylines are and what their lives look like. But yeah, it's like I just want to touch on where those guys are because, we spent 3 seasons caring about what their lives look like. So.
And I don't because I'm definitely excited to see what this whole world looks like now with the full women's team. Like, so not taking away from the women's team. Again, I don't want us to go back full episodes. It's just neat to see in the midst of everything else going on, just a few little things here or there. Maybe we could see
also
where the other team is.
How do we think? Well, maybe filming had already wrapped by then, but how are we going to deal with the fact that Rupert died? Anthony had passed away.
Fairly certain filming had wrapped by that point. I don't.
And I didn't see him in the trailer.
I don't think he'll be in it. They probably won't even mention him. I think his story's complete.
Okay.
Is my
Because
understanding.
I also think about
there might be a passing reference, maybe, but
right, because I want to know like what's going on with Nate.
Yeah.
And sort of like I know he's left Rupert's team and come back to Richmond
as assistant Kitman.
Yes,
assistant to the Kitman.
But I think there's no way to really talk about Nate's evolution without talking about Rupert, even if he's not on screen. So,
right.
And Rebecca and her new pilot man and his daughter, I can't wait to see them be a little family. But yeah, I just think I was, as you were talking about it, I was just like, I remembered that Anthony had died and I got really sad. But yeah, that means that they're not ever going to be able to show him on screen again. Yeah. So like, how are we going to deal with that?
Yeah. Maybe in season 5, Sassy shows up.
Sassy shows up in a red dress.
Yes.
And we just know.
And that's how they honor him.
Yeah, we just know. Rupert has passed.
All right. So for me, my hopes and dreams for season 4. I say I have a list, but if you look at my screen, I don't actually have a list, but I do have a list that I'm just going to sprout off from memory here.
Okay.
First of all, I agree. I want just a peek into the lives of the players that he coached for 3 seasons. I want to know that they're doing well. I want to know, Danny might be back in Mexico, or Sam did get to make the Nigerian national team. I just want glimpses, not necessarily full updates, but just I just want to know that they're okay. But I don't want that to be the scope of the season.
Sure.
Secondly, we know they filmed in Kansas City. There were shots of them filming in Kansas City, which means I feel like we're going to get Rebecca, Keeley, and Higgins in America to try to bring Ted back.
Okay.
And I cannot wait to see that. And I just as Ted Lasso was a fish out of water in England, I want to see fish out of water the opposite way in trying to recruit him to come back to coach this women's team. I cannot wait. And I hope we get a full in-depth episode of, maybe that might be the first episode of them trying to convince him to come back.
Right.
Number 3. The way that the original 3 seasons opened my eyes to what football is and the dynamics of the Premier League and how, like the culture of football in England and in the UK and in Europe. And you get the crowd singing the songs and the fans in the pubs and stuff. I want to feel that same way about this second division AFC Richmond women's team. I want to really get a good insight to what that culture's like. Is it going to be as big? Is that something they're going to be up against? They're going to be fighting for equality.
Right.
Like I have no doubt they're going to present a realistic look at women's sports.
About how women's sports are currently still fighting for equality?
Yes. I know that women's sports struggles in America because it's seen, unfortunately, as lesser. And I, in my past, perpetuated that ideal, and I'm very sorry because it's absolutely not true. I used to dunk on the WNBA. I used to hate it. It's a great league. It's a great product. The women are killing it. Women's basketball is bigger than it's ever been. There's a professional women's softball league now. Durham has a team.
Yep.
And I watched some of that on ESPN on Sundays. But women are still fighting to get their due.
Women's hockey.
Women's hockey is amazing. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And then we have the Women's World Cup coming up next year. And I feel like the men's national team has always gotten a lot of hype, and they've just never lived up to it in the United States or whatever.
As compared to the women's
As compared to the
national
women
team
who have
always
4
wins.
World Cups since 1994, 1995, or whenever 91. And so in our lifetime, they have 4 World Cups. And so all that to say, I really want there to be just a passion for the women's football team there in Richmond. I want to see them trying to grow it to where they are seen as equal to the men. But also what makes Ted Lasso great, or one of the things that makes Ted Lasso great, is it's Ted, the fish out of water story.
Yes.
How is he going to adapt to coaching women?
Right.
Has he ever coached women?
Right.
I'm sure that's going to be a contention point.
Right.
So I want to see how that dynamic plays out.
Yeah. How does the locker room work?
How does that work?
Right.
We see a new coach. I cannot remember her name, but she, the actress, it's a female coach, come alongside Beard and Ted onto the sidelines. Does that mean Beard is no longer going to be coaching with the Richmond men, and he's coming over? And then you've got that dynamic. So I'm here for the dynamic, but I'm here for I want to really dive into this story as much as I love the old story, and I want to make sure they're okay. I don't want there to be a lot of focus on the previous story.
Correct. Yeah.
I really want this to be a story worth telling.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have said leave the past alone.
Sure.
But this is a fresh take, and I really just cannot wait to see it. And then my last thing, and this is something that I have really picked up on my recent rewatches. I want this to be a continuation from the first 3 seasons. The use of music
Oh, yeah.
in the first 3 seasons.
I'm already really hopeful about that because I don't know if I told you guys, the Mumford & Sons dropped a new album earlier this year, and I had some time because I was road tripping for a work conference, and so I listened, and I don't often do this anymore, but for whatever reason, I decided to listen to it start to finish, all the way through, every song in order. I loved Mumford & Sons when they were a thing, but not like I haven't continued to follow their music. I didn't, when Marcus Mumford went solo for a little while, didn't listen to that, never seen them in concert, like never purchased a t-shirt. Like I'm not a Mumford & Sons fan. I would never claim to be a fan when they have actual fans. But I love good music, and I've always loved the vibe of their music, and I love lyrics. I love diving into lyrics, and when a band can just write something that I can see, it's always been really interesting to me. And so that album was start to finish, no notes, every single song. I was texting people I know, and I was like, you have to listen to this. You have to listen to the whole thing.
She didn't text us.
Yes, she did. She's like, they wouldn't.
My bad. Well, I know you guys aren't like music people, you know.
Whoa, what?
Whoa, wait a minute. What?
I don't.
She doesn't even know us.
Evidently not.
Oopsies. Sorry.
Wow.
My bad. Hey guys, you should listen to the entirety of the latest Mumford & Sons album
I've
from
heard
start
this
to
somewhere.
finish.
That's great.
I heard from somebody that wasn't a fan that said it was actually okay.
Okay, so I texted Austin Coates of all people. And he texted me back 4 hours later and was like, here are my favorite ones. Thanks for recommending this.
Wow.
Here's the lyric I love the most. Here's the song. Like, he was on it.
That's why she didn't text us.
Yeah.
She was like, we'll check it out
I was
sometime.
like, I need you to do this now.
I can't talk to you.
Because I need someone to talk to about this. And he was the one that got back to me. But anyway, I say all that to say that the moment I heard the first few notes of the song they put over the trailer, I was like, oh, we're bringing Mumford & Sons back. And the idea that they might be working in not only maybe original songs that the band has written for them, but working in this new album to the episodes as we move through the season. That song they chose from that album for the trailer was the perfect song to choose. And so I am also very excited about where this season goes musically, I think.
No, that's one of the things I've really picked up on is just they have so many great songs featured throughout every episode, every season. If you go to Spotify, I know that it's an Apple product. They might have an Apple playlist too, but there is a Spotify playlist that has every song they've used, and it's just a treasure trove of wonderful, wonderful, wonderful hits. From everything from Britpop to Chet Baker jazz. I mean, just like, and everything in between. I mean, it's so good.
Yeah, they do a great job with
so
music.
I really hope that is something that is continued to be a highlight. Something you don't even think about a highlight that's kind of what makes it feel like
it's
comfort.
so integrated
Yes.
that you almost don't recognize
you
it
don't recognize it
happening.
because
Yeah.
it's like a warm blanket just kind of washes
Yes.
over you, and you just it becomes
Yeah.
part of what you're experiencing. So
100%.
we're big fans of Ted Lasso. We're very excited to see Ted Lasso comes out on August 5th on Apple TV. Go get your free Apple trial if you haven't used one already, and go watch the series so you can catch up with us. And check out Believing is the name of the Ted Lasso rewatch podcast done by myself and Gavin, which will come out sometime in August. Real quick, just rapid fire odds and ends. Anything you want to discuss? I know Ashby, you had sent a little message this week. Talk to us about your old friend Taylor Lautner.
Yeah, so I'm actually looking on Instagram now because there's like a few things that have come across my radar this past week that I wanted to talk about. The biggest one, obviously, is, and I knew this was happening because months and months ago, I follow Taylor Lautner on Instagram just because I like him and I like his wife, the two Taylors. They're now expecting their first child, which everyone is like, well, obviously you're going to name it Taylor, and then there'll be the three Taylors, the three Taylor Lautners. Anyway. They also have a really cool podcast that I've listened to like on and off, where they talk a lot about mental health and stuff. So anyway, I follow him on Instagram, and I don't think it was in April, but I just really thought this has to be an April Fool's joke. At some point, he posted to his official Instagram, this project that he was going to be working on that had been greenlit, and it's called Taylor Lautner Werewolf Hunter. For real, for real, for real. I'm not pulling your leg. The premise is that he plays himself, okay? And after Twilight, after he played a werewolf, Taylor Lautner at some point starts to realize that werewolves are real and that they are a danger to the human race. And so he trains himself to become a werewolf hunter. That's it. That's the premise of the TV show, you guys. And I just thought, this isn't real. And I was Googling, I was looking. Well, it came back across my feed recently, and it seems like this project is moving forward. I don't know if he's actively filming it, but it seems like this is happening. And if I can't have the Buffy reboot, then I can at least have Taylor Lautner as a werewolf hunter. And I have no idea what it's going to look like other than that. If it's going to be episodic, if it's going to be monster of the week, or if it's going to have a,
like
an
overarching
story.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to take itself seriously or if it's meant to be like
Campy,
horror comedy. I truly don't care. I don't care. I'm going to watch it. I'm so excited about it. I have no idea when it's coming out, but
the little side note, and I just realized you're not having the best year in pop culture. First they cancel the Buffy series, and then Jamie Tartt's not coming back to Ted Lasso. I mean, just what's going on?
It's been a tough year for me. It's been a tough year for me in the cultural zeitgeist. Yeah. It's not. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's okay.
Anything else we want to discuss rapid fire before we get to the one to watch?
I had one. I did go see Jackass Best and Last this past Sunday, and for me, it honestly was emotional. Like, I kind of thought it might be, but I wasn't sure. And it's one of those movies that if you don't like what Jackass is, you probably shouldn't go see it because you already don't like it. So like, it is what it is. I was kind of surprised, and it just didn't click. We were looking at theaters to go, and they had already stopped showing it in Smithfield. And so we went to Cary to see it just because, like, again, it has its core audience. It's not something that if you're new, you're probably not going to go watch. But what it was for me was on the way there, I was talking about it with a friend and Erica and just talking about memories that I had of this show. And it came out when I think I was in like 7th, 8th grade. And it was something that for me, it was the first time that you would watch something, it fit your personality. The next day you would be at school talking about it with your friends, all laughing about it, to the extent that teachers were also doing the same thing. Cause we'd have teachers sit at the back of class and be like, did you watch the Donkey Show last night? And like, even be talking with us about it because they thought it was funny. And so it created this whole thing as a teenager at that point where we would go and make videos of us and our friends doing these stupid things on digital cameras, not on cell phones, but like legit on cameras. We didn't have some big processing, stuff on our computer to make a video out of it. We just put clips together and put it together. But it just made me
love to re-release this on the channel if we're able to get footage.
That's the thing. Is like it's also one of those times where like if you made
Hunter Batten
something,
has it.
yeah, Hunter has it. I never filmed with Hunter, but still, it just goes to show there was anybody in their own little groups was making these things, and it just made me think about a lot of really good memories with friends, making some of these videos with friends that are no longer here anymore, and so that's just the whole thing. But just I think I told my friend Michael, like I think they could have made just a special on television, but at the same time, without the budget, they couldn't have done a lot of the things they did. They couldn't have shown us some of the things just because stunts, are what they are. Some of it's just kind of crazy. But beyond that, just watching it, I thought it was nice that it was showing the cast honestly getting a little bit emotional too, realizing like this is the last time we're doing this. This isn't like a fake, like we're going to say it is, and it's not like, no, this is the last time we're getting together and filming stuff like this. And then, so there was a lot of the movie that was, what was your favorite thing? And they'll go back and show some stuff that maybe didn't make it before or couldn't make it before, and just their relationships they were having too. And there was moments of, if there's members of their cast that aren't here anymore either. And so it kind of made sure they got a little bit of a spotlight. But at the end, just, I didn't all out like bawl or anything, but there was definitely times that it had me like tearing up through it. And then the end, it was really neat how they were kind of doing their little here now versus 20 years ago or whatever, what it looked like then, and just back and forth having those few little moments where you're realizing like they have gotten old and I've also gotten old, and all these memories that I have, it was just really special for me. So I would just say, like, if you grew up and you were kind of in those similar areas where I was, if it's still in a theater near you, go check it out. Like, take your buddies that you maybe have made these videos with, especially if you hadn't even talked to them in forever. Maybe you've kind of grown apart. I think it was just kind of nice and a little special thing to hit on a deep level. So
Nice.
that was my only odd and end thing, but I think it was something worth mentioning.
And I'm going to mention something real quick before we get to the ones to watch for August. I don't have a big write up on this, and this probably deserves a bigger discussion. We just don't have time for it. The Odyssey released the weekend we're recording, and it's getting just massive praise. And I think I would like to go see it at some point. I don't know when I'll be able to, since I'll be overseas next
I've heard
week.
you have to see it in IMAX.
But yeah, so
because otherwise it cuts off part of the screen. Like there's
okay.
literally parts of the movie you don't see if you go
Wow.
see it in a normal theater.
Okay. But Christopher Nolan is just a master of his craft, and
A master of making the screen so dark I can't see what's going on.
yes. So I do want to go check that out, and maybe I will get a chance to check it out before I go back to work in August. So what is your pick for the one to watch for August?
So I was, to be honest, I was really busy May and June. So I think that there are things that I'm looking forward to watching over the next few weeks that are already out. I can't really think of anything coming out in August specifically other than Ted Lasso. Very first of the month, we're going to go see Spider-Man together. But I still have to watch The Devil Wears Prada 2, which is now officially streaming, so I can. Also, something that's already out, I think that just hit maybe Prime in the last few days, is what looks like a delightful thriller comedy. Speaking of Ted Lasso, with Hannah Waddingham and Octavia Spencer.
Oh, okay.
I think called Ride or Die.
Okay.
Where Hannah Waddingham plays a like a secret agent, like a spy, who has become best friends with Octavia Spencer's character, but she doesn't know that her best friend is a spy, and then they get pulled into hijinks together. And so really it's just Hannah Waddingham in like Manolos and sparkly tight dresses kicking the absolute mess out of men, and I'm here for
I
I'm
think
here
we're all
for
here for
it.
that.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I'm here for it. She is an Amazonian warrior. She's so tall and she has beautiful muscles, and I just want to see her kick butt, and I want to see her be taller than everyone on screen in heels and totally unapologetic about it. And I want to see her do stunts. And so I'm looking forward to watching that.
Sounds great.
Nice.
For me, obviously Ted Lasso season 4, obviously Spider-Man. But we mentioned this at the beginning of the year, and we were all like, but I saw the trailer for it, and I'm like, maybe? Coyote versus Acme. It looks really funny.
I'm still meh.
It looks really funny to me.
Still meh. Is this mixed medium cartoon and live action?
Yes.
Like the Roger Rabbit?
Yes.
Okay.
So it looks interesting to me. So outside of those obvious picks, there's really not a lot coming out in August beyond those things, in my opinion. So I'm going to throw Coyote vs. Acme a bone. We've already talked ad nauseum about Spider-Man and Ted Lasso. So obviously we're excited to see that. I'm going to throw Coyote vs. Acme, just a little shout.
Nice. Obviously, I think we've hit all the ones that I would typically mention. Eric and I haven't finished the Bear season yet, so
good.
We're about midway through that, so I would like to finish that. But we did watch something last night that I would just recommend for the next month for anybody. It's on streaming now, like it just says recently, I think. But the movie Obsession.
Sheep Detectives?
No, that too. That's on the list at some point. We are going to watch that. But the movie Obsession, we watched it last night.
I've heard good things about Obsession.
It's really good. If you like scary movies, thriller movies, it's just a quick premise. If again, it's already been in theaters, people already know about it. But just real quick, is this guy is pretty much really likes his close friend that's in like this small friend group that they have. He goes to the shop that's like it's a One Wish Willow that's like a branch, and you take it out and it plays a little tune. You say your wish, snap the branch in half, and you get your one wish. And some people, it's just a gimmicky thing that's on a counter at a store. Maybe not. But his one wish is that this friend will love him more than anyone else on the earth. And he's too afraid to like say anything to her ever.
Okay.
Well, he gets his wish, and as you can think, if someone's that obsessed over you,
she starts killing people for him.
Could be.
Wow.
It gets real creepy and crazy because she straight up is very obsessed. It is very like, if you want to think of someone that is just paranoid about anybody possibly ever taking them, yeah. And it was good though. We really enjoyed it. And I remember like this was a big ordeal when it came out, especially because I think the guy that made it has made bunches of like stuff on YouTube and stuff like horror shorts or some other things, but he made this whole movie like budgeted. It's like 20 days for like $750,000.
Wow.
And got all this stuff. I can't remember what movie was in theaters at the time. It was a multi-million-dollar movie, and this one was beating it. And so it was making like national news.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But like whatever company picked it up or production company picked it up, paid her like $15 million for this.
Right.
Like, so it's a big thing knowing that it was made by somebody so small in comparison anyway. But it's definitely, if you like scary things, like,
I swear
I would mention it.
I was looking at that's what I was looking at a while ago on my phone was my Instagram feed for saved stuff. And I swear, other than Ride or Die, there was something that I had saved, not Taylor Lautner Werewolf Hunter. But I feel like there was something else that I was like, oh, let me clock this so I can remember to go back and watch it. And now I couldn't find it. I can't remember what it was, but I feel like there was something else that was coming out that I was like, oh, I have to see this. And now it's gone.
It'll come back to you at some point.
No,
just shout it out as it comes out. Just middle of whatever somebody's talking, just yell it.
Well, that's it for block one. That's it for the one to watch in August. We'll be right back after this word from our sponsor. Today's episode is brought to you by a brand new grooming product straight from the sidelines of Nelson Road. We're talking about beard oil by Beard.
That's right, Eric. Are you tired of your facial hair looking less like an elite tactical football coach and more like a discarded tumbleweed? Coach Beard has spent years silently perfecting a formula that smells faintly of chess grandmaster sweat, vintage philosophy books, and unconditional loyalty.
Just 2 drops of beard oil by Beard will turn your scratchy chin hair into a luxurious, enigmatic mane. Side effects may include sudden urges to move to London, intense competitive hula hooping, and communicating entirely through intense stares.
Use code WHATTHEWHAT at checkout for 10% off your first vial. Beard oil by Beard. Sleep is for the weak, but hydration is for the face. I love our fake ads.
Me too. I think we're pretty good at them, to be honest.
All right. We are back. It's time to head into block 2. Today, we are, well, it says we're settling an argument that's torn film nerds apart in bar rooms and comment sections for a quarter century. I don't know about that. But we are talking about the absolute peak era of cinema, the 1990s.
Yeah.
Of course.
Apocalypse would agree.
Of course.
Yes. The decade where independent cinema exploded, original ideas actually got massive studio budgets, and CGI hadn't completely taken over the world yet. But we are not here to talk about the decade as a whole. No, we're here to pinpoint the exact calendar year that stands alone at the top of the mountain. So we're going to lay our cards on the table. We're picking our definitive choice for the greatest year in 90s film. And to me, I think there's two obvious answers. But Kyle, what are your thoughts?
I narrowed it down to like three,
Okay.
2 or 3, but I finally just had to pick one. And I went with 1994.
Yeah.
Here's just a short list of the 94 roster. You got Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump, Shawshank Redemption, Lion King, Clerks, Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura Pet Detective, The Mask, Speed, Miracle on 34th Street, The Crow, Little Giant, Santa Claus, D2 The Mighty Ducks, and so many more. The Interview with Vampire. Yep. And all the other random movies that kind of go along in that little bit of like Little Giants era. You're just
Blank
shocked.
Check.
Yes.
Me and Ivy watched Renaissance Man with Danny DeVito the other night, and I was like, "This is also 1994." Like, yeah. Anyway,
but yeah, that's my pick for those.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go with the obvious choice of 1996.
That was another one.
Wow.
Obviously.
Okay.
I mean,
what is in 96?
Independence Day, Twister, First Mission Impossible, Jerry Maguire, Tom Cruise was having a year, 101 Dalmatians, The Birdcage, which I love with Robin Williams. You also had stuff like Jingle All the Way, Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet. You had, oh gosh, what was some of the other ones I was looking at that I was like, what? This one too? I went down like a whole list of every single, the first Scream movie came out that year. So we started that franchise. We had things like, Broken Arrow and Happy Gilmore. We had what was the other one that I was looking at that I was like, this one? Did I already say Jingle All the Way?
You did.
Okay.
You were excited for Muppets Treasure Island.
Yes,
I know you're a giant
with
Muppets
Tim
fan.
Curry. That one came out that year.
Oh, that's fantastic.
The first Fargo, so we started that franchise that year. You had what was the other one? I was like, oh, this one? Oh, obviously Tremors 2 Aftershocks.
Of course, obviously. Yes.
The seminal Tremors.
Seminal cinematic classic.
Classic. Okay, I'm sorry. That entire, I watched that movie series way too young to be watching it, and it made me terrified to have my feet on the ground for months.
We watched that with Michael Thompson and his little brother Mitch back then in the day, and I was telling him, I was like, oh, that's what moles look like. That's what those are that are coming up through the ground, and you're having to it's moles.
Like
you got to watch out for those.
Version. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, that's what those are. You may not have seen one, but that's what those are.
Oh, The Craft. That's what I was going to say. The Craft.
Yes.
Excellent. I think Twister deserves another mention, obviously.
Obviously, yes.
Let's see what else. There were some other ones that I was like, oh, The Cable Guy. Jim Carrey was having a run in the 90s.
Dark comedy there, yeah.
Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Back when Disney movies were great.
Yes, exactly. Let's see. Oh, Harriet the Spy.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good one.
That was the other one. Kazam. Not Shazam. Kazam.
Are you sure?
I'm not. I'm not sure at all. Oh, Train Spotting.
Yes.
And A Time to Kill. Let's see what else. There was quite a Aladdin King of Thieves, which, hot take, I think is one of the best Aladdins. Fight me.
You're not wrong.
Is that the one with or without Robin Williams?
That is with Robin.
I was about
to say.
Return
of Jafar is without.
That's when you meet his dad.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think it has really good musical numbers too. But anyway, let's see. What else? I feel like there were some other ones. This was like, Fly Away Home, which apparently is having a resurgence because Gen Z has discovered it now, and they're putting clips from it on social media, and they're like, oh my God, this girl with her geese or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I was there. Okay. I was there when the dark magic was written, which
don't quote the dark magic to me. I was there when it was written.
Oh, The First Wives Club. Have you guys ever watched The First Wives Club? It's definitely, you're not the key audience there, but it is such a delightful movie. It's got Bette Midler and Diane Keaton and Goldie Hawn.
I don't know.
And they play these older women in their 50s who have all been mistreated by their either current or ex-spouses. And they're at the very beginning of the movie, something happens there's like 4 of them, and they've been best friends for life. And something happens to the 4th friend. and that sort of sets them on this like journey. And it's just a really delightful movie that I think I appreciate more now as a woman as I age. But that's a really, really good movie. And then let's see what else. Mighty Ducks. Well,
D3, Mighty
D3, the Mighty
Because
Ducks.
Still worth noting.
D2
Yeah.
was in 94.
And then let's see. There were a few others, I feel like. I don't know. Okay. Obviously, you guys know I'm not fooling anyone. I just was like, Twister came out in 96. I'm picking 96.
Of course.
But then when I actually started to go through this list, I was like, oh my gosh, was 96 like the year for movies?
It's one of them.
It is.
This is intense. But yeah, I just feel like it as I kind of kept going down. The English Patient, Space Jam. That was the other one, Space Jam. And then Star Trek First Contact. So like the Star Trek movies were still coming out, and those are really good. The Crucible, which I think we all had to watch in high school.
Yes.
With Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yes.
And Winona Ryder. Excellent. So anyway, I just feel like the more I looked into it, even though I kind of picked it because I just really love Twister and Independence Day, the more I went into it, the more I was like, wait a minute. Evita, that was another one with Madonna. Anyway.
You also scrolled past Beavis and Butthead Do America, but
oh no,
it was fun watching over your shoulder and seeing
Not
it was on the list.
not
I'm devastated.
Yeah.
I'm so sad.
Well,
Can I guess yours before you jump? Were you going to comment on that?
I think 96 is great.
I want to guess yours.
Go ahead and guess mine.
Because I had 3. 94 was one I went with. 96 was one of my other ones. 99 was my other one.
99 is the other option here. I don't know if it's necessarily the one I'm picking, but I am going to give it a shout out here. Here's some movies that came out in 1999.
Okay.
Star Wars Episode 1, Toy Story 2, The Matrix, The Sixth Sense, Austin Powers: The Spy Who Shagged Me, The Mummy, Big Daddy, The Blair Witch Project, Varsity Blues, She's All That, Office Space, Cruel Intentions, 10 Things I Hate About You, Tarzan, with the Wild Wild West, American Pie, The Iron Giant, The Green Mile, and Pokemon the first movie.
That's big.
That's a massive, massive lineup. 2 of our 4 high school movie Mount Rushmore contenders are on this list.
Right.
I mean, 10 Things I Hate About You and American Pie both came out in 99.
Yeah.
You have The Matrix, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but the technological advancement, I mean, it holds up today.
Absolutely.
The Mummy, which I know you love, Ashby.
So good.
Fantastic movie.
Maybe this CGI doesn't hold up as well as The Matrix, but excellent. And we're getting another one. So we've talked about that.
I'm a big Austin Powers fan. That for some reason I laugh every time I watch his movies. And The Spy Who Shagged Me is, to me, definitely the best of the 3 that have come out. The Blair Witch Project, I remember seeing this when it came out in theaters. My aunt took me to the theater in Wilson that no longer exists.
I remember being super confused about whether or not it was real because of their marketing.
Yeah, well, and it was intentionally marketed that way.
Of course, yeah, they did an amazing job.
But I remember going and watching it, and it freaked me out so much that the next morning at school, like this is like the 4th day of school, like on a Thursday morning, the camera shaking is still in my head, and I go to the bathroom and throw up first thing in the morning. Like, end up going home because I'm just still motion sick.
Yeah.
Varsity Blues, which another great high school movie, good football movie. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Again, I don't know that I'm going to be standing for 1999 as the best of because I do think 1994 would have been my original choice. I mean, because these are all like. Me and Ivy, we've watched a ton of movies, like old movies, and they seem to all be set in or released in 1994.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump's one of them. We watched Renaissance Man, as I mentioned earlier. Blank Check is something we watched. Angels in the Outfield is something we've watched. Shawshank Redemption is my favorite movie of all time, and it came out in 1994. But again, I will give some love to 99, and I think 96 is a good one too.
Yeah.
I don't know that we're going to come to an agreement necessarily. No. I do think me and Kyle might be in agreement that it's going to be 94. But this is what we have social media for.
96.
I think we can put a poll out and say, is it 94, 96, or 99? And so we might do that for our Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah.
And honestly, especially for us anyway, I feel like it pulls on you hard every year you see. Because
Right.
for some reason, I want to say 97 had some good ones too, but it was just in my mindset of depending on what age you were, it hit you differently.
Yeah.
Because
Correct.
they're all different, a variety of great movies, but they're also like as you matured into 99, those movies that hit the top of the list for us are movies that as we matured, we may have seen at that age versus 94, we wouldn't have watched some of those types of movies.
Right.
So,
Right.
but again, I think they're all 3 great years.
When did Tom and Huck come out? With Jonathan Taylor?
I don't remember. I remember the
Oh,
movie.
gosh.
Was that a 94 release
You
as
guys-
well?
Okay, first of all, as someone who hold on. 95.
95. So it just did.
As someone who just got back from Alaska, as I was looking at the scenery, I had a recovered memory. Do you guys remember Wild America?
Yeah.
When did
yeah.
Wild America come out? Because I owned it on VHS, and that was like peak Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Let's see. 97.
Oh, so
Where was
97.
Jungle to Jungle?
That was Devin Sawa,
Mm.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas, and who was the other guy? Because he ended up not being as famous as Scott Barstow.
Mm-hmm. Jungle to Jungle also came out in 97. So JTT, and he had.
Well, he wasn't in Jungle to Jungle.
Oh, he wasn't.
I don't think. I quoted it at first, but then I was like, wait a second, that's not him.
No, he was in.
That's Tim Allen and the other guy, but I'm thinking of him and Chevy Chase. What movie was that?
Man of the House.
Man of the House. That's the one.
Where it's him and his mom,
Yep.
and Chevy Chase comes in as the I'm gonna be your stepdad.
Mhm.
Squat. What was it? Squatting Dog was
Yeah.
the Indian name, or
I think
Something
so.
like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, they had to go to the Scouts or something, and it
Mhm.
was it was a whole thing.
Yep.
So anyway, I will try to clip this 1994 versus 1996 versus 1999. Which year had the best movies? Comment below and vote on your favorite. And thanks. Let's move on to block 3. We are bringing back the As If archives. Okay.
As if.
Now, I did mess up a little bit. I actually gave y'all the artifacts
didn't
ahead
read
of
'em.
time. That y'all.
I saw that you had done that, and then
And I did not mean to do that. And I just am now realizing, wait, y'all have them on your script.
Well, so
But I did
didn't-
not give you the answer.
I didn't read them
I didn't either. I was like,
because I saw that you had done that, and then I saw Tamagotchi, and then I stopped reading.
yeah.
So
I
I've
was like, I'm
not-
not going to read
I've
these.
not read them.
Thank you for your honesty.
You're welcome.
Mhm.
This one's
Kyle
gonna be
and I are not cheaters.
We're also like, no, don't
Every-
do that part.
every
Cool,
time we
skip.
do a draft.
I was
It's
like,
like,
oh, I can
so
skip
Eric,
that part.
I can skip that part.
I cheated here, but we're not
Mhm.
cheaters. You're right.
Yeah, not today.
I'm not a cheater. I'm just lazy.
This one's going to be a little different than what we did the first time. Last time we had 2 things that were true and 1 that was false. This time, only 1 of these are true. The other 2
wow.
are false. Okay, so you're picking the one true thing. Well, I'm going to give you 3 90s stories or artifacts. 2 are completely fabricated. Only 1 is real. You have to guess which one's fact. Last time y'all worked together, I'm going to let y'all work by yourself this time, and y'all can
Okay.
either agree or disagree or
Okay.
whatever.
Okay.
Do what you want. So here's the first artifact. Number 1, the Tamagotchi Ghost Protocol. In 1997, Bandai briefly recalled a specific batch of purple Tamagotchis because a software glitch caused the virtual pets to haunt other devices. If your Tamagotchi died of neglect, it would supposedly upload a pixelated ghost sprite to any other Tamagotchi connected via the IR port, causing the healthy pet to refuse food and emit a continuous low-frequency beep until it passed away.
Well, that's sad.
That sounds chilling.
It sounds like a virus, if you ask me.
That sounds like a A24 movie.
Hmm.
Artifact number 2, the blockbuster Aroma Aerosol. At the peak of their corporate power in 1996, Blockbuster Entertainment, for those of you who were not from the 90s, Blockbuster was a video rental store. Okay. You paid money to watch your movies, but you had to go physically pick it up and put it into a player. Anyway.
It's like Netflix, but in a store.
Yes.
But then Netflix would be mailed to your door through the
After.
physical
yeah.
mail.
Before, yeah.
At the peak of their corporate power in 1996, Blockbuster Entertainment trialed a proprietary ambient scent called Midnight Butter and Mylar in select Midwestern stores. They even manufactured a limited run consumer room spray so people could make their living room smell exactly like a video rental store. It was quickly discontinued after customers complained that it smelled like stale movie theater popcorn mixed with industrial carpet cleaner.
Yum.
I can't smell, but that sounds amazing.
Midnight butter and Mylar for men.
I was gonna say, Kyle, do you know what a Blockbuster smells like?
I have no idea.
Okay. Like back. I'm circling back around to being very sad for you. So
It's okay.
I know you don't want me to, but
I enjoy popcorn, so for me it seems hopeful.
okay.
By the way, when we go to the Alamo Draft House, they do have the best popcorn, as my wife will tell you.
I can't wait.
I've yet to buy popcorn there. I don't think.
You
I'm
will
like fried pickles and other things.
You will need to get a bowl of just a simple bowl of butter popcorn, truffle popcorn, or whatever. It's so good. Artifact number 3, the Sony Discman Anti-Gravity Defection. In 1995, Sony released a rugged yellow version of the Discman called the Sport Discman ESP to market its revolutionary electronic shock protection, which kept the CD from skipping while jogging. Sony hired professional bungee jumpers to leap off bridges while wearing the Discman. The jumpers successfully listened to an entire track mid-air without a single audio skip, proving the tech worked under extreme G-force. All right.
This is a tough batch.
It is.
So one of these is true. The other 2 were false. You need to find out or discuss or figure out, talk out loud or whatever. What do you think is true and what is false?
I feel like I remember number 3, at least the device existing.
Yeah, I feel like I can picture what it looked like in my head.
And then I'm also picturing, like, was that a yellow tape, like cassette thing that I'm misthinking? Correct. That it wasn't an actual, like,
or am
CD
I thinking
player?
of the original, like, construction version of a Nextel?
Yeah, the
that
same.
Was yellow
the
and black.
Nextel, yes, classic.
Yeah.
2002 peak energy
Before
there.
they realized that, like, teenage girls wanted them and not just rugged construction men. And so they retooled them to be, like, sleek in different colors instead of just, like, yellow and black.
That was a generation of, I actually want to talk out loud to people on the phone and not just text back and forth to them.
Insane that those ever existed. I don't know, because, like, I feel like the Blockbuster one could be true.
As a person that worked in, like, a retail store, not a Blockbuster, but another, there are all sorts of, like, things
Scent
that people
is a
will do.
thing.
Yeah, that wants you happy.
And, like,
Disney
stores
does it.
have proprietary scents, and they used to pump them. I mean, can we all just close our eyes, except for Kyle, and remember what a Hollister smelled like? We all
I've
know.
heard.
You
I know Disney
like,
smell that way on, like, Main Street Disney when you're walking through,
they
like, to
pump
Magic
out
Kingdom.
scent.
It's like the bakery has fans to blow that smell out, so you will be lured into the store.
And
So,
maybe, and maybe start singing a Beauty and the Beast song.
It could be.
Not Marie, the baguettes.
Hurry up.
So it's not crazy that Blockbuster would have a scent and that then they would be like, let's sell this in a candle.
All right, so let me just recap. So far, y'all are looking at 3, maybe 2, any word on 1, or y'all completely like, okay,
I feel
1.
so positive that is not a thing.
Okay.
I was one of the kids that didn't have, like, an official Tamagotchi. I had like a knockoff, whatever one.
Gigapet.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even that. It was like some random, even more knockoff.
We have a Tamagotchi at home. It's called your dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I never had one that connected to anything. And
Right.
so it wouldn't surprise me
I don't
that
think
something
they could
would
talk
happen.
to one another. I don't think we had that technology yet.
And I guess
They
that this
didn't-
is a defect that it could happen that way.
They
And I'm
didn't
sure
hook up to one another.
One thing I will say, maybe not about this, but I will just throw this in there about the kind of creepy thing. The first Pokemon game, when you
Good.
went to Lavender Town, the music was so creepy that it actually did cause like nightmares and stuff. And like it,
Interesting.
like that's the thing I thought of when I read that.
and you could connect your games back then, right?
Yes, that
Yeah.
was in like 97 or 98.
But that was also a Game Boy and not like something as cheap as a Tamagotchi.
Correct.
But I also now I'm wondering if, like, are you hinting at number 1 by bringing it up a little more serious,
Right.
or are you trying to throw us off by bringing?
I'm
up
not
number
trying to
one a
do
little
anything.
serious?
I'm throwing what I thought of here.
Also, I feel like,
When I first read these artifacts here,
the technology, it's not to say that Japan wasn't ahead of us in technology. So maybe Tamagotchis did have that ability. We just didn't know it.
Number 3
I
wouldn't
would have heard
surprise
about
me,
that.
but I just don't feel like, I don't know if that's true. Because I had, and again, I didn't have this specific Discman, but I would have one in my pocket, like in my cargo shorts pocket, cutting grass, and I feel like it would skip.
I never had a Discman that didn't skip. If it had existed, I would have wanted one. It's
I
kind of
will-
like the first one. I feel like I would have heard about this because I did have Tamagotchi.
I will say this. I mean, for the Discman, I felt like a lot of them were marketed as anti-skip.
Mm.
Right, but they weren't.
But they weren't. So I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah, but I could also see the 90s were a time where it was like total advertising.
Fast and loose with the facts type thing.
Yeah, it was like an apocalyptic wasteland of advertising. There weren't a ton of rules yet.
But also, if you can prove it happened once, you ain't gonna prove it happens every time.
Well, I also feel like if this was a little bit later, if it wasn't 95, if it was a little bit more later where like X Games are big, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater's big, let's do something extreme by like throwing this with a bunch
when
of...
did Tony Hawk Pro Skater come out?
Yeah.
It came out in 96, 97, right?
Did it? I thought it was later 90s.
It was, I mean, PlayStation 1 was 97.
Look it up real quick.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I don't think it's going to vary. Like,
when did Tony Hawk
I had it in middle school.
Come out?
So I feel like it would be 98,
Oh, 99.
Yeah.
Wow, okay, never mind. I stand corrected.
Yeah, because I don't think he threw the 900 until like 98, somewhere in there. But so that's my thought, though. Everything went extreme at that point. So it would make more sense for them to throw something into a bungee jumper back then if it was that period. 95, I just don't feel like they would have done that. I feel like they would have thrown it with a basketball player or something.
I feel like number 3 is the most realistic. Like, I can picture it. But I feel like because of that, I want to choose number 2.
I'm going number 2.
I'm going number 2.
So you agree? Y'all both think it's
we have
I feel
agreed.
like it makes the most sense because it's the 90s. People are trying. We didn't have internet sales. Everything was in a store.
Same thing.
And so they would do whatever they could.
And the Midwest seems like somewhere you would actually launch that product first.
Yeah, you would
so
try
that rings
something.
true. So I'm going to go with number 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I would go with number 2.
Okay, so even though we don't have to agree.
No, we
you don't have to agree, but you are agreeing.
But that just makes the most sense to me.
Okay. So the guesses are locked in.
Yeah.
Ashby, you're going with artifact number 2.
Yep.
Kyle, you're backing artifact number 2. It's time to open the vault and see who is walking away with the point.
You know how hard it is not to look at your screen
and
right
who
now.
got completely
So I used to watching TV with subtitles and getting away. I'm just like, I don't want to know the answer before you say it, but I kind of do.
Let's start with artifact number 1. Okay, that's the one that y'all kind of completely dismissed. Okay, I'm gonna do these in order. The Tamagotchi Ghost Protocol. The idea that your dead virtual pet would digital ghost stalk your friend's device and beat them to death, completely fabricated.
Yes.
Yeah. I made it up.
I knew it.
Though, to be fair, the real emotional trauma of a dead Tamagotchi was scary enough without a ghost glitch.
Facts.
Also, if your New Year's was dead, why would you even connect it to anybody else's at that point?
I mean, it was the 90s, though. We had rumors about a bunch of different things.
Oh, sure. I'm just saying, like...
I'm still trying to, find Yoshi in Mario 64.
Right.
He's not there, but apparently if you collect all the stars, you go to the top of the castle.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not Yoshi. It's Luigi. Luigi's supposed to,
Right.
Anyway. Which brings us to Artifact 2, which is the one you agreed on.
Yes.
Okay, that y'all both said this is the one. The Blockbuster Aroma Aerosol. Midnight Butter and Mylar. A room spray that smells like a movie rental store and industrial carpet cleaner. It sounds entirely plausible because corporate 90s synergy was wild. But it's also completely fake. I just really wanted to see if you guys would buy the phrase Mylar scent.
Mylar was the one word that threw me off, but I was like...
You know what?
So...
I stand by it. I thought it was...
Which means,
genius.
by default, Artifact 3 is the absolute truth. In 1995, Sony literally hired professional bungee jumpers to leap off bridges strapped into the Sport Discman ESP to prove their electronic shock protection skip protection tech, say that 5 times fast, was bulletproof. The jumpers went full free fall, bounced upside down over a river, and the CD didn't skip a single beat. So, how does it feel to know that the 1990s marketing teams were out here risking human lives just to sell a yellow CD player?
I remain unshocked.
Yeah.
Totally.
Literally,
totally unshocked.
As you were reading, I was like, we literally just said the Mighty Ducks, like the second one came out in 94. So rollerblading was already a big thing at that point. So I missed out on it.
I think I could picture it.
Yeah.
I think I could picture
in my
what
head,
it
I
looked
see
like in my head, but I just felt like I
had matching yellow
I feel like
headphones.
it rung too true. You know? So you got
Sometimes
you got
the things that sound the most true are just that.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Well, in the archive, the As If Archives scorebook now, y'all were correct on the first one that we did with the which was picked the one lie, and the one lie was McDonald's the pizza ovens having to be like industrial size and stuff for the McPizza. You are now 1-1.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I fooled y'all this time.
You did.
I'm so
fooled
excited.
us this time.
All right. So we're moving on to useless aggression. This is the segment. And I feel like we have to explain this every time because we do post clips of our podcast on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And we usually always post our useless aggressions because they're usually about a minute and a half.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually funny and they're usually harmless, usually. But we always just post them with whoever it is raging out without context.
Yeah.
So I always try to explain it, but we don't ever get the explanation in the clips. So maybe we'll just post this explanation of the clip. This is called useless aggression.
Yes.
Where
useless being the key word.
Useless is being the key word.
Yeah.
We're not really aggressive about this
in
the sense that we're going to go like protest or
we're not trying to hurt anybody's
feelings. We are just big mad about something that does not matter. This is the tiniest of hills that we could die on.
Yeah.
Is the way that I like to put it. So just very easy. So
funniest part about this is those same people that complain about the clips are not going to see the thing
they're not going to see the thing I just said.
So like let's be very clear that in the event that we do pick something very specific to talk about, like my rant about Buffy being canceled, I'm punching up. Okay.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
That producer is fine in his
that producer
Malibu
will never
mansion.
see
Okay. He's gonna
your
be
little
okay.
1 minute rant.
He may.
Why are we defending the multi-millionaire billionaire?
Yeah, it's okay.
That could be its own useless
Exactly.
not useful aggression.
Yeah.
Where we
I say that specifically because I'm about to punch up this week too.
Yeah.
In my useless aggression.
All right. Well, I've got Kyle going first. You want to go first, Kyle?
That's fine.
Let's do it.
I got to back my mic up a little bit.
All right.
I went a little long, so we'll see how long this goes.
Let's do it.
Okay.
It's that time of year again where it's nearly 100 degrees every Friday afternoon when I get off work, and I have to go home and put on a tank top and gym shorts just to make sure that I get the absolute top-of-the-line quality farmer's tan while I cut grass. Yes. And to be fair, cutting grass doesn't bother me. I've got my headphones in, I'm listening to music or podcasts, and just putting that mower in the wind and cutting down that grass. But what it is that I hate? Weeds. I hate them. I spend time walking around in this humid heat with the weed eater, chopping them down to the ground. We've already talked about my nose issues and how hard it is for me to breathe on a nice cool day. On a 100-degree day, I'm doing my best not to get choked out by my dang sleeper like a rowdy piper. Put me in a friggin' chokehold in my nose to get me to the ground. I then mix up some most toxic levels of Roundup that could take down Captain Planet in a single spray, thinking that I'll have a chance of these weeds never coming back. An hour later, I've walked all over the property. I've taken the life and future generations of lives of these weeds, only to discover in a couple weeks that they've mutated and came back with a vengeance to fill my driveway, my ditch, with all their supervillain weed friends. In coming weeks, if you drive by my house and you see me with a flamethrower, don't call the cops. Just keep driving. Or heck, stop by and I'll let you burn off some of your useless aggression to take down these friggin' weeds in my yard. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I get
Beautiful.
it. I get it. I bought Daniel what is essentially a flamethrower for our weeds. And I don't know how well it's working, but it made Daniel happy. So
I may have to get one.
Yeah, he sets our weeds on fire.
And to be fair, I'm already scorched from 100 degrees anyway.
Might as well add
An extra fire is not going to hurt me anymore.
I love the fact that a lot of your useless aggressions are either drive-through related or it's bodily function related.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
It's like Kyle you have nothing else to be upset about in the world.
And he's sticking to it.
Literally, like my life is just pretty like normal these days where I have a child. So like I'm not going out doing extreme things. It's just like I cut grass.
Great.
And it's hard to breathe and it sucks. We walk outside. Ashley talked about this morning, like the 30-second walk from her car into Eric's house this morning. And you're tired. You're dead. You're like, I don't want to do anything now.
You're speaking my life from the age of 7 to the age of 27.
Right out of you.
And then I think about it, I'm like,
Awful.
Eric will relate to this. I'm like, no, he won't. He pays his neighbor to do all his stuff now.
I mean, I did it. I did my time. I did 20 years.
You're a smart man.
I did my time
in Azkaban.
7 years.
I'll go next. I actually don't have anything written down here, but I do have. Like we said, this is useless aggression. So there's different kinds of aggression.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it is like aggressive aggression. We've had your happy useless aggression.
Mm-hmm.
This is just going to be like chill aggression, I guess. Like passive aggressiveness, maybe.
Okay.
So my useless aggression this week. I'm not going to call out the user by name. because we've gotten these comments before, or we've gotten
We'll get 'em
something
again.
similar before.
Mhm.
But it just really, like, I don't understand. And maybe someone who does this on occasion can help me out here, and without just another snotty comment. But what is the point of something shows up in your feed? Okay, we apparently have been showing him people's FYP feeds and on TikTok or on their shorts, YouTube shorts or whatever.
Love that for
And,
us.
Yeah, great.
you know, great for us. We're showing up in random feeds. If it's not for you, great. Okay, like we are a very specific, brand.
Acquired taste.
A very acquired taste that is not for everybody. We are also just three friends who bought some mics, and we have cameras on our phones, and we've been doing this off and on for 7 years now. We have fun. We know we're not going to make money doing this. We're just having fun, and that's what this podcast is for us. And so, what is the point of making a comment about, wow, I don't know how this showed up in my feed, but this proves that everybody doesn't need a podcast? No, like, if you didn't like it, just scroll. Like,
Also, start a podcast.
It's so easy. Just scroll. You don't have to come in here with your negativity. We are a positive
That's
podcast.
right.
So I am a believer in the new day's power of positivity. Okay, we are very happy-go-lucky, and this is the one part of our show where we let out a little bit of aggression, just a teeny bit of aggression, because the rest of our episode is very like, we can't wait to see this, we love this, have you seen this? Like, it's very like high energy, loving life. But this part of the show, we're just letting out some steam, right? And I just don't understand why it's only these clips where we might get the random, well, my cat can have a podcast. You know what? I hope your cat does get a podcast. We even responded to the guy.
We're very encouraging.
We're very encouraging.
I'm excited.
I've watched the Meowcast. Okay? I would absolutely watch that.
Yeah.
Okay? But don't talk about it. Be about it. Okay? I went to the guy's YouTube page. He's posted 3 clips of him playing a video game. I could have gotten on there and said, wow, you suck, LOL.
Wow,
who plays this game?
Anyone can start
But
a
we're
Twitch
not
stream
like
now.
that. I'm not going to go to
Is that your cat
page
playing this game? Because he sucks.
and just give someone hate for no reason.
Yeah.
There's enough hate in this world.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and it's being perpetuated over and over and more nowadays, where we're being turned against each other. If you see something you don't like, it's okay. You don't have to like it, but you ain't got to comment on it. Not everybody wants your comments, buddy.
That's right.
Okay.
I'm commenting on all your stuff, Eric.
Yeah.
You don't post much anymore, but if you do,
I
I'm
really
just going to be
don't.
like, me and my cat can do that.
I really don't. So,
As we
like I
like
said,
to
a very
say,
chill, useless question. It was kind of a joint useless
Yeah, it
question.
was. It was a
Thank
little
you
bit.
for allowing me to get this off my chest.
Yeah.
But
Thanks for bringing it
yeah,
up.
if you're going to comment, we welcome your comments, because your comments, whether they're good or bad, they do help our page.
Yeah. As we like to
Okay.
say in the fan fiction community, I'm writing this for free.
Yep.
And I'm writing it for me.
That's right.
So if you don't like it, you can hit that back button.
Yeah.
You don't have to say anything.
But we do appreciate all comments.
I was trying to think how to do that better. Right, it's for me. Do you want it for free? For me?
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, go play with your kitty.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you have something to say, just know, even if you have something bad to say, we're going to be very nice to you, because we're nice people.
I think it's great.
But I don't understand. So
And
if you
we will subscribe to your cat podcast.
100%.
but if you
Meowcast
could,
Let us
but if you
101.
could explain why you feel the need to just comment on some people who are just having a good time.
Yeah, just having fun.
You know?
Doing it
Is
for
your
free?
life that sad
You're
that
doing
you
it for
have to
me.
bring everyone else
And
down
your kitty.
to your level? So, God bless you.
Well,
we love
Eric,
you, whatever your name is.
I'm really glad that you said that
So,
because I'm about to make people real mad.
all right, Ashby, go for it.
Ashby hates cats.
Come on, men of the internet.
Uh-oh.
Come at me again. Here we go.
Hang on, let me-
Christopher Nolan, hashtag, I got a problem with you. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Why do you hate light and color? I don't understand. And it's not just Christopher Nolan. I feel like finally people are starting to say online what I've been saying for years, and that is we have a tonal quality problem in Hollywood. We have leached the light and color and life out of the screen, and I don't understand why. I mean, it's just very obvious when you put modern movies and TV shows next to things that we were watching in the 80s and 90s, even early 2000s, how different they look. And, you know, they just dropped the teaser for the next Robert Pattinson Batman. It was like 10 seconds long. Couldn't see a thing. On my tiny Instagram screen. I could see his little bat ears and his bat nose and like his profile. And that was about it. And I had the brightness turned all the way up on my screen. Same thing for the Odyssey. Am I going to go see it in theaters? Probably not. But I watched the trailer and there were some moments of brightness, but then there were things happening on screen where I was just kind of like, oh, is that David? Is that his nose? I can't tell. I can't tell because I can't see. And also, I've mentioned this already once this episode, but I'll wrap it up with this other thought that I had recently. I mentioned that if you want to go see the Odyssey in theaters, you should go to IMAX. I feel like we're moving towards this very dangerous accessibility issue where you only get to see movies as they're meant to be seen if you have money. And I feel like that's a problem because if I can only see the Odyssey as Christopher Nolan has meant it to be seen, if I have the money and time to go see it in IMAX, and if I see it any other way, then it's literally half of the movie, then I think that we're missing the plot somehow. Like we've gone astray from what entertainment is meant to be and who it's meant to be for. And again, I will, with the caveat that I saw that post, I did not go fact check it, so I don't know how true that is. There were screenshots that look like it was someone watching it in a regular like theater and someone watching it. And I'll show them to you guys after this. But if that is true, I have a problem with that. I do not have a problem, let me be clear, with IMAX. I think that, you know, movies and TV shows should be accessible across multiple platforms, right? Like if you can't afford to go see it in theaters, you should be able to stream it. If you can't afford to stream it without ads, then there's an option to stream it with ads. You know, if you can afford to go see it in IMAX, great. What I have a problem with is that those three experiences being different experiences.
Right.
That's a problem. So anyway, that's my rant for the week.
And I will say, like for us, like where's the nearest IMAX theater for us? Like I know
like an hour away.
There's one in Greenville, I think, and
Raleigh
there's
has one.
one in Raleigh.
Yeah, so again,
but
you
it's
need
an
time
hour
and you
away.
need money
So
to
you
do
need
it.
to be able to drive to a bigger city,
Correct,
to go watch this. And yeah, I mean, and it's one of the things I don't really completely understand because, like Hollywood, 2026 is like all these movies are making more money than ever, but more theaters are closing.
Right.
And
Right.
And I'm trying to figure out what's the disconnect there? Like, how is this happening? If more theaters are no longer being profitable, yet Hollywood's making more money off these movies, then there's got to be there's got to be some kind of disconnect there. That's like at some point we're not going to be able to watch movies in theaters.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's going to be the case, so. I don't know. I feel like that bubble's going to burst at some point, and I don't know. This is why we love our nostalgia, because the 90s you could go and see like I'm going to use The Sheep Detectives, a perfectly good movie.
Yeah.
That did not have to be $100 million blockbuster. It was just and that was commonplace. You don't see a lot of those movies now.
No.
Or if you do, it's because you hear about them from someone else.
Yeah.
Because the marketing's not there.
Right. But it was one-off. It was beautiful. It was standalone. It was fun.
Currently my best movie of the year.
Family friendly. It hit all the right notes tonally. It was bright and colorful. It was so well done. And yeah, I think honestly, like I agree with you. As of right now, my favorite movie of the year.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if
it's too
how the world's different now too, where something like that typically you would just see released directly on a streaming service.
Right.
Typically, if somebody would make a movie, like Netflix made this movie and they put it out, or anybody in those same lines of different stuff.
Right.
I don't agree with it necessarily, because I do like the fact of just even the movies we all went through and listed in our favorite 90s years. If it was today, a lot of those movies wouldn't have made it to the screen.
Correct.
They would have just been put straight out on a streaming service, if they were even made in general.
Yeah.
So like it's just stuff you don't see, and I get it. Times are different, things are different, and we always look on things with like our nostalgic goggles or whatever. But it is the fact too of looking back, even now. we went back and watched The Sandlot with Sky, and we started watching Big Green with Sky and stuff, and it's like just fun sports movies.
Was Big Green another 94 release?
I don't know. It was back in that time period. But I mean, a lot of those movies.
One?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
And so, like, just all of those fun movies that, truthfully, I'm sure they weren't that expensive to make.
95.
Yeah. But just in general, I mean, it don't have to be sports related, but just in general, I understand the reason for, like, some of these gigantic budget movies because they have to have it. But at the same time, even like Osama Old Obsession, how you can make a great, scary movie that we really enjoyed for less than $1 million. Like, so, and it's all just on what you're trying to put out there. I get it. Every movie can't be that way, but still.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps it up for our 6th episode. Let us know in the comments if you think X-Men 97 clears live action Marvel, and tell us your favorite 90s year in film. Yeah, Kyle, you have the next line.
I do. It says, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and TikTok.
That's What Media, all one word.
Mm-hmm.
All one word.
Mm-hmm.
See you next time.
Stay as cool as the other side of the pillow. Be kind and rewind.
Bye.
See ya. What?